Hi and howdy. Welcome to the last episode of this season of English Out and About. If you are here today, you will learn more about the United States. And along the way, you will improve your English. For the last couple of months, I have been your guide. I'm Jane, and I can't believe this is our 10th and final episode. Time flies. It looks like our alert was triggered a little early this week. Did you catch that idiom that I used? Time flies. Or sometimes you'll hear a longer version, time flies when you're having fun. This means that time seems to be moving more quickly than usual. This is usually because you're involved in something enjoyable or engaging. Listen for how this idiom is used in context throughout this episode. I also want to remind you that there are additional resources that go along with this episode. Please check the links in the video description for materials that students can use on their own and that teachers can use with their classes. We want you to get the most out of this language learning opportunity. In today's episode, mystery reporter Maggie and field reporter Francesca will take us to the West Coast state of California to learn more about the gold rush, ghost towns, and economic development. But now I want to turn the show over to English teacher Tina, who will introduce this week's language focus, which is conditional statements. Spoiler alert, I already used one in my introduction. Did you hear it?
Thanks, Jane. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's show about conditional language. Hey, that's right. I did hear some conditional language right at the start of the episode. Let's listen to what Jane said.
If you are here today, you will learn more about the United States.
The language structure that Jane used is called the first conditional. It is used to describe a possible condition and its probable result. Like all conditional sentences, the first conditional has two parts: the condition or if clause and the result clause. Here's an example sentence. If you are here today, then you will learn. The if clause uses the simple present plus if. The result clause uses simple future. If you are here today, then you will learn. Think you got it? Hold on. Sometimes conditional sentences can look a little bit different. Check this out. The order of the clauses can be reversed, and the sentence will look different, but it will still make sense. Here's the new sentence. You will learn if you are here today. You will learn if you are here today. Let's try another one. If he finds gold, he will be rich. The if clause is if he finds gold. The result clause is he will be rich. Let's reverse the order of the clauses. He will be rich if he finds gold. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I think we have time for one more. This time we'll start with the result clause. She will tell him if she sees him. She will tell him if she sees him. Now, we will reverse the order of the clauses and we'll start with the if clause. Think you can do it? If she sees him, then she will tell him. You might have noticed the use of the word then is optional when writing a conditional sentence that starts with the if clause. If she sees him, then she will tell him. If she sees him, she will tell him. Both sentences are technically correct, so it's just a matter of personal preference. We'll get into that more later in the show. If you want to learn more, keep watching our show. Back to you, Jane.
Thanks, Teacher Tina. Let's send it over to field reporter Francesca, who will give us a brief introduction to the California Gold Rush, which occurred in the mid-1800s. As you listen, try to figure out which American sports team has a connection to the gold rush. Over to you, Francesca.
Thanks, Jane. I am thrilled to be reporting to you from beautiful California. Here are some fun and interesting facts about California. In 1848, the discovery of gold quickly changed this state. Did you know that the California Gold Rush was the largest mass migration in the United States history? Once people heard that gold could be found in California's rivers and mountains, people from all over the world set out for California in the hopes of striking it rich. Most people did not find gold, but this mass arrival of people forever shaped California. The California Gold Rush helped the U.S. economy take off. Manufacturing, agriculture, transportation, construction, mining, retail, and service industries expanded rapidly to meet the growing demands. Businesses that exist today, like Levi's Jeans and the Wells Fargo Bank, they got their start during the gold rush. Did you know that the name of the American football team in San Francisco gets its name from this time? They are called the 49ers, which was a nickname for those people who came to California seeking gold in 1849. What's that, Jane? I need to send it back to you already? Huh, how time flies. Okay, this is Field Reporter Francesca signing off from California. So long, farewell, and happy trails. Back to you, Jane.
Thanks, Francesca. Did you hear the answer to my comprehension question? What American sports team has a connection to the California Gold Rush? It's the San Francisco 49ers. Their name, the 49ers, was also the nickname for people who came rushing to California looking for gold in 1849. Now, mystery reporter Maggie has promised to creep us out with her report about a haunted silver mine in Southern California. As you listen to this next segment, try to figure out the definition of a ghost town. Over to you, Maggie.
Thanks, Jane, and welcome, mystery lovers. This week, we're going to explore a haunted mine named after me. Well, actually, it wasn't named after me, but we do share a name. We will be exploring the town of Calico, California, home to the Maggie Silver Mine. How could I pass that up? And since I couldn't decide between gold or silver, I went with something a little more bronze. The Maggie Mine was a working mine in the late 1800s. The population of the nearby town of Calico tripled in 3 years. We could call this a boom town because of how quickly it grew. But then, in 1890, the price of silver plummeted, and eventually the town of Calico was completely abandoned. We would call this a ghost town. But just because the living left Calico, did everyone leave? The area surrounding the Maggie Mine is allegedly bursting with paranormal activity, which means that people have described experiences and feelings that cannot be explained by science. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of Lucy Lane walking to her house in a beautiful black dress. Tumbleweed Harris, the last marshal of Calico, is said to stroll along the boardwalks of Main Street. There have also been frequent reports of long-deceased teachers standing in the windows of the old schoolhouse. While these are 3 of the most common reports of paranormal activity, there are several other locations in town that are rumored to be haunted. Visitors commonly report feeling unexplained chills and having their clothes tugged when touring the Calico Corral, Hank's Hotel, and Maggie Mine. Some have even felt as though an unseen person was touching their face and hands. Ooh, it gives me chills. Even though the town of Calico has a reputation for the unexplained, most ghost towns are simply historic towns that have been abandoned. It is estimated that there are over 3,800 ghost towns scattered all over the American West, from Texas to Alaska. Many of them former mining towns. Some have been restored as historical landmarks and welcome visitors. Other ghost towns are in a state of disrepair or are located on private property and cannot be accessed. Whether famous or obscure, restored or crumbling, ghost towns are reminders of previous boom and bust cycles and how many people thought that they could find their fortune or fame by moving west. Time flies when you get a glimpse of the past and remember the legacy of risk takers who had no guarantee of success but still helped to shape the American dream. Back to you, Jane.
Thank you, mystery reporter Maggie. Did you figure out the definition of a ghost town? A ghost town is simply an abandoned historic town. They don't have anything to do with ghosts. And I've visited several ghost towns myself and never experienced anything out of the ordinary. But there is so much history to learn. Now I'm going to send it back to English teacher Tina for some more practice with the conditional.
Thanks, Jane. Welcome back. Wow, time flies. Today we are talking about conditional sentences, and specifically the first conditional. We use the first conditional when we want to talk about something that's possible and its probable result. We call these two parts the condition or if clause and the result clause. The order of the clauses can be reversed. We can start with the if clause or we can start with the result clause. Let's look at an example. If I stop at the store, I will be late for class. Let's reverse the order. I will be late for class if I stop at the store. We already discussed how use of the word then is optional when we start a sentence with the if clause. If I stop at the store, I will be late for class. It means the same thing as if I stop at the store, then I will be late for class. It's just a matter of preference. Both are correct. However, if we switch the clauses around and start the sentence with the result clause, then we never start with the word then. I will be late for class if I stop at the store. Not, then I will be late for class if I stop at the store. Now it's your turn. Which sentence is correct? Then I will get my books wet if I walk in the rain. Or, I will get my books wet if I walk in the rain. You're right. The correct sentence is, I will get my books wet if I walk in the rain. We never start a conditional sentence using the word then. There's one more thing I want to tell you about. Look at these two sentences and see if you can see the difference. If she skips the test, she will not pass the course. She will not pass the course if she skips the test. Did you see it? The sentence that starts with the if clause has a comma. The sentence that starts with the result clause does not have a comma. Okay, it's time to put it all together. Rewrite this sentence, reversing the order of the clauses. Think you can do it? Let's go. He will miss the bus if he wakes up late. Great work. Did you say if he wakes up late, then he will miss the bus? Or if he wakes up late, he will miss the bus? Correct. Both answers are perfect. Here's our last one. This time, I want you to complete the sentence. You can use your own words or you can use the words on the board. If you eat too many hot peppers, then... Wow, did you create your own sentence? Great work. If you used my words, you could say, if you eat too many hot peppers, you will get a stomachache. You could also say, if you eat too many hot peppers, then you will get a stomachache. Both answers are correct. Don't forget, use of the word then is optional. Use of a comma, not optional. Do you like eating hot peppers? I do. Well, now you know how to write a sentence using the first conditional. Wait, did you see that? I must have eaten too many hot peppers today. Back to you, Jane.
Thanks, Teacher Tina. Well, I can't believe this, and I guess this is an example of how time flies. But we have reached the end of this episode, and with it, the end of our video series. If you missed any along the way, make sure you go back and catch up. No, wait! After I finish this last segment. If you haven't already, check the video description for the links to additional resources. On behalf of my colleagues, Maggie, Francesca, and Tina, I want to thank you for joining us on this tour across the United States. I hope you've learned about some locations that maybe you didn't know before. Even more importantly, I hope you've gained an appreciation for some of the cultural values that we hold dear. Equality for people of all genders and backgrounds, appreciation and preservation of the environment, entrepreneurship, community, and a respect for those who came before us. If you aren't already, make sure you follow the Relo Andes Facebook page. That's facebook.com/ReloAndes. We're going to end this episode the way we've ended all the rest, by showing images and facts about 5 states. This week, we're finishing out the alphabet by featuring Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Thanks for watching. Don't be a stranger. Follow Relo Andes on Facebook to keep in touch.